Do you ever wonder how some people travel the world, flying first class, staying in 5-star resorts, and paying for it all with points? I used to think that was out of reach, but now I'm able to travel first class and business class for a fraction of the cost, simply by learning how to unlock the real value of my credit card points. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find the cheapest flight deals, the best credit cards to start earning massive points with no extra spending, and how to know when to use points and when to pay cash so you never waste them. Most people feel like they can't travel because of two things: time and money. I used to feel the same way. Not just limited by the money it takes for flights and hotels, but also by work and school schedules for my family of 4. For example, we love Florida State football in my house. Every year, we pick a Friday night FSU away game, then a Saturday game somewhere nearby, and after that, we explore yet another city for a few days before flying home from a completely different airport. Total flights this year, for all 4 of us, just $500. A couple years ago, I would have thought that was impossible. Before this tradition, I had self-limiting beliefs about what travel costs and when it could fit into our lives. But once I flipped how I thought about flights, like starting with one-ways instead of forcing round trips, I realized just how cheap it could be. Let me show you an example right now for this year's trip. So right now, if you were to search this flight from Tampa to Richmond, you would know that it's $83 per ticket. But when I booked it a few weeks back, it was literally $196 for all 4 of us. So what it was at that point was $49 per ticket. So I'm not going to demonstrate right now on Google because that would be confusing. But the flight is still super cheap. Even if it was $83 per person, that would be incredible. For the trip home, we'll be flying back from DC. We're going to spend a few days there before flying back after the football game. We're actually going to be stopping in Annapolis as well before spending a few days in DC. Anyhow, the flight we went with was with United. So as you can see, that's $67 per ticket. Times 4, that's $268 total for the whole flight. If you add that to the $196 that we already paid, $464 for both flights to get to our trip and back home from our trip using one-way flights instead of round trip. And we get to make more stops in the process. And about time, yes, my kids miss a few school days. At first, I thought that wasn't allowed, but I realized experiences and memories like these are far more valuable than perfect attendance. With a little planning and communication, it's never been a problem. And once you unlock that flexibility in your mind, that's when the truly incredible flight deals start showing up. But what happens when you need to be somewhere in particular or at a specific time, and you can't find any great cash deals? Where this gets really cool is when you can use your credit card points to book travel if you're unable to be flexible on a trip, or if you want to luxuriously travel in ways you never thought possible. All you need to do is start building up your stash of points with the right credit cards. But how do you do that? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all the different travel credit cards out there? I know I did. At one point, I spent months researching blogs, comparing offers, and watching YouTube videos, only to feel more confused than when I started. But what I've realized is that you don't need a bunch of cards. Sure, there are many options out there, including Capital One, Citi, branded cards for airlines like Delta or hotels like Hilton. But the 2 best options I recommend and personally use are Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve and American Express Gold. Why? Because they both earn the most flexible points. That means you're not locked into a single airline or hotel. Instead, you can transfer those points to dozens of partners, and that flexibility is what turns everyday spending into massive travel value. And the best part is, you don't have to spend a dime more than you already do. By simply routing your normal expenses like groceries, gas, phone bills, streaming, insurance, even business expenses, you'll build up a stash of points that can cover flights or hotels that would normally cost thousands. Yes, you heard that correct. The same money you already spend could earn you a couple hundred in cash back, or it could turn into business class seats and 5-star stays worth thousands. That's the difference between regular points and flexible points from Chase and Amex. So once we get really good at finding amazing cash deals on flights, as well as earning tons of the right flexible credit card points, how do we know whether it's better to pay cash or use points? Here's the part that makes or breaks whether your points feel like pennies or like pure gold. Think of your credit card points like gift cards. Most people take a $100 gift card to the grocery store and just spend it on regular groceries. That works, but it's the least exciting and least valuable way to use it. That's basically what happens when you redeem your points for cashback or gift cards. But imagine instead of groceries, that same $100 gift card could be traded in for a $1,000 flat screen TV because of a special deal with the store. That's exactly what happens when you transfer your points to airline and hotel partners. You can unlock 5 to 10 times more value than just cashing them out. The way I measure value is in how many cents each point is worth. For example, if 50,000 points only covers a $500 flight, that's 1 cent per point. Not great. But if those same 50,000 points cover a $2,500 business class seat, that's a 5 cents per point redemption. And sometimes you can even stretch them to 10, 15, or 20 cents per point on international trips. So my simple rule is, if I'm only getting close to 1 cent per point, I'd rather just pay cash and save my points for much better redemptions. But if I'm getting 5 cents or more, that's when I transfer points and book the deal. That's the difference between a free tank of gas and flying business class around the world. That simple rule is what keeps you from ever wasting your points. If you found this helpful, be sure to check out this video to avoid common mistakes and make sure you're not missing the cheapest flights. That one shows you exactly what most people do wrong when booking flights and how to fix it. And before you go, hit like if you learned something new, subscribe for more valuable travel hacks, and drop a comment below where you'd love to travel next. I'd love to hear from you.